The internet is exploding, and for once, the king of trolls might have finally met a line that even he wasn't prepared to see crossed. Hollywood is whispering, and the streets of Southside Jamaica, Queens, are vibrating with a tension we haven't felt in decades. What started as a simple rumor of a versus battle, a celebration of hip-hop royalty, may now be something much bigger, something darker, and something that has reportedly left one of the most untouchable figures in music history at an uncharacteristic loss for words. According to online speculation and a series of harrowing social media outbursts, the unwritten rules of the game have been incinerated. We've seen 50 Cent dismantle careers, end beefs with a single meme, and outmaneuver the federal government, but unverified reports suggest that a 21-year-old may have just struck the one nerve that doesn't heal. Some insiders claim that the legendary Curtis Jackson, a man forged in the fires of trauma and survived 9 bullets, was seen in a moment of rare, raw vulnerability after a video surfaced that many are calling the most disrespectful act in the history of rap feuds. Fans believe we are witnessing a cultural shift where nothing is sacred anymore. Something darker may be unfolding behind the scenes of this digital war. As the screenshots circulate, and the deleted videos are re-uploaded by the thousands, one question hangs over the entire industry. Did King Harris just go too far? Or did 50 Cent finally meet the ghost of his own past in the most public way possible? To understand the magnitude of this explosion, you have to understand the pillars of these two empires. On one side, you have the King of the South, T.I., and his son, King Harris. For years, the Harris family has been a staple of reality television, presenting an image of a tight-knit, affluent, and outspoken dynasty. They were the royal family of Atlanta, a brand built on legacy, luxury, and the idea that the Harris name carried a certain weight that no one should ever challenge. King Harris, growing up in the spotlight, has often been at the center of controversy, frequently seen defending his family's honor with a ferocity that some call passion, and others call recklessness. On the other side stands 50 Cent. His public image is that of a titanium-plated titan. He is the man who turned a tragic childhood and a violent upbringing into a billion-dollar empire. But beneath the get-rich-or-die-trying persona lies a foundation built on a singular, painful truth: the loss of his mother, Sabrina Jackson. Sabrina was 50's world until she was tragically taken when he was just 8 years old. In every interview where he lets the guard down, 50 credits his drive, his survival, and his cold exterior to the hole left by her absence. For years, things appeared perfect on the surface between these camps. 50 and T.I. were peers, titans of the 2000s who shared stages and respect. There were even talks of them coming together for a massive business venture. But slowly, cracks began to form in the narrative. The competitive nature of hip-hop began to bleed into personal territory. Rumors of a fallout over a versus battle began to swirl, with T.I. claiming he lost respect for 50's trolling tactics. 50, true to form, responded by doing what he does best: targeting the weak points. He posted a photo of T.I.'s wife, Tiny Harris, an image that many felt was meant to mock her appearance. The industry watched, popcorn in hand, expecting another classic 50 Cent masterclass in psychological warfare. But no one expected the counter-strike. No one expected King Harris to bypass the music, bypass the money, and go straight for the cemetery. The perfect image of rap diplomacy was about to be shattered by a young man who seemingly decided that if 50 Cent wanted to play dirty, he would bring the dirt from the one place 50 never wanted to visit again. The escalation didn't happen in a boardroom, it happened in the lawless land of Instagram stories. Alleged leaks suggest that the tension had been simmering behind closed doors for weeks, with industry whispers claiming that back-channel peace talks between T.I. and 50 Cent had completely collapsed. Some fans think the turning point was a specific, now deleted post where 50 reportedly made a jab that hit too close to the Harris home. Then came the King's Gambit. King Harris allegedly took to social media with a series of posts that sent shockwaves through the community. According to online reports, King didn't just defend his mother, he reportedly posted an image of a tombstone with Sabrina Jackson's name on it. He didn't stop there. Unverified reports suggest he followed up with a video rant that was so vitriolic, even the most seasoned rap fans were left stunned. He reportedly told 50 to go dig her up and post a picture of your dead mom. Social media reactions were instantaneous and polarized. Fan theories began to emerge, suggesting that King Harris was being coached by others who wanted to see 50 Cent fall, while others argued that this was simply a son losing his mind in defense of his mother. There is no confirmed evidence that T.I. sanctioned this specific attack, but the silence from the Harris camp spoke volumes. Industry whispers started to paint a picture of a 50 Cent who was unusually quiet. The man who usually has a meme ready within 30 seconds of a diss was suddenly gone. Some fans believe this silence wasn't a sign of defeat, but a sign of genuine shock. Rumors began to circulate that 50 was blindsided by the level of disrespect directed toward a woman who had been dead for over 40 years. Reports suggest that even 50's closest associates were telling him to take a beat, fearing that the situation was spiraling into a territory where music couldn't solve the problem. The digital trenches were dug deep, and the world was waiting for the inevitable retaliation from the most dangerous man in hip-hop. Then came the moment that changed the tone of the entire controversy. A viral live stream moment appeared to catch 50 Cent in a headspace we've never seen. It wasn't a breakdown in the traditional sense, 50 doesn't do traditional, but there was a heaviness in his voice that felt like a haunting echo of the 8-year-old boy from Queens. In a clip that circulated wildly, 50 appeared to be reflecting on the nature of the business, but when the topic of the recent disrespect surfaced, his demeanor shifted. The cryptic social media posts followed. Instead of the usual mocking images of his rivals, 50 shared a simple, somber photo that many believed was a tribute to his mother. He didn't caption it with a joke. He didn't tag an enemy. He just let the image sit there. A deleted tweet from an associate of G-Unit reportedly read, "You can play with a man's money, but don't play with his ghosts." This sent fan reactions trending globally. The hashtag #RespectSabrina began to pick up steam as the public, usually entertained by 50's antics, suddenly felt a collective sense of unease. The tension was building to a breaking point. On one side, you had a young man doubling down on the most disrespectful video of the decade, and on the other, a legendary mogul who seemed to be retreating into the memories of the only person he ever truly loved. Reports surfaced that 50 was seen backstage at an event, appearing uncharacteristically somber, leaning against a wall and staring at his phone for an hour in total silence. Was the invincible 50 Cent finally feeling the weight of the war he had helped create? The internet wasn't laughing anymore. It was watching a tragedy unfold in real time. As the video of King Harris's comments went viral, the industry's reaction was a chilling, coordinated silence. Brands that usually jump on 50 Cent's viral moments to gain engagement suddenly went silent. No one wanted to be associated with a beef that had crossed into the territory of mocking the deceased. Public figures who were normally neutral began posting cryptic quotes about honor and lines you don't cross, which many interpreted as a subtle rebuke of King Harris's tactics. The unfollows were the most telling sign of the shifting tides. Insiders noted that several major hip-hop moguls, and even some of T.I.'s longtime collaborators, appeared to distance themselves from the immediate blast radius of the Harris family. Media silence from the major outlets was replaced by a wave of independent commentators calling for an end to the mother-shaming trend in rap beefs. It was an observation, not an accusation, but the vibe had shifted from rap battle to moral crisis. Speculation grew that 50 Cent's business partners were concerned about the optics of the situation. Not because of 50's actions, but because the environment had become so toxic that it was no longer good for the brand. Reports suggest that even within the Atlanta scene, there was a feeling of, this isn't how we do things. The silence wasn't just a lack of noise. It was a heavy, judgmental vacuum that seemed to be pushing King Harris and 50 Cent further into their respective corners, with no clear path to a peaceful resolution. But then, something happened that no one saw coming. Just when it seemed like the situation would end in a violent confrontation, or a permanent blood feud, a new voice entered the conversation. A resurfaced clip from an old, forgotten interview with Sabrina Jackson's siblings began to circulate on TikTok and Twitter. In the clip, they talked about the kind of woman Sabrina was, not the drug dealer the history books remember, but a protective, fierce mother who would have done anything to keep her son safe. This clip changed everything. It humanized the target of King Harris's insults in a way that made the disrespect feel even more egregious to the general public. But the real twist came when an unverified audio leak surfaced, allegedly featuring T.I. himself. In the audio, a voice that sounds remarkably like the Atlanta rapper is heard reprimanding someone, presumably King, telling him that there are levels to this, and that bringing up the dead is a curse you can't outrun. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from King Harris versus 50 Cent to a father's failure. Fans began to speculate that T.I. was moving behind the scenes to clean up a mess that had grown too large for him to handle. But then, another shift. 50 Cent finally broke his silence. He didn't drop a diss track. He didn't post a meme. He reportedly sent a message to a mutual contact that simply said, "I've been dead since I was 8. You can't kill a ghost." The drama took on a supernatural, almost Shakespearean quality. Was 50 Cent admitting that the insults didn't hurt him because he was already numb? Or was he issuing a warning that he was about to haunt the Harris family in ways they couldn't imagine? A resurfaced clip of 50 talking about his 9 lives began to trend, but this time, the context was different. It wasn't about surviving bullets. It was about surviving the loss of the only person who ever mattered. As the dust begins to settle on this explosive week, we are left with more questions than answers. Is this the end of the 50 Cent and T.I. era, or just the beginning of a much more dangerous chapter? Was the intense emotion we saw from 50 Cent a sign of a man finally reaching his breaking point? Or was it a calculated strategy to turn the public against a young rival who didn't know the rules of the game? The internet remains divided. Some say King Harris did what he had to do to protect his family's honor. Others say he committed an unforgivable sin in the culture of hip-hop. What we do know is that the line has been moved. The King of Trolls has been touched in a place no one thought possible, and the repercussions of this digital war are likely to be felt for years to come. Was it all for the cameras? Or are we witnessing the real-time crumbling of a rap dynasty? What do you think? Did King Harris cross a line that can never be uncrossed? Or is 50 Cent finally getting a taste of his own medicine? Let us know in the comments. This story is far from over, and in this game, the next move is always the most dangerous. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as we continue to track the fallout of the most disrespectful video in hip-hop history. Is it over, or is the ghost of Sabrina Jackson just getting started?